Hello students, welcome to my channel. Let us begin with this fun poem, Have You Ever Seen? Which also talks about a vocabulary concept and it gives us an explanation to this concept in a fun way. So which vocabulary concept are we going to cover along with this poem? Here it is, homographs. Now homographs are spelled the same but have different meanings. So let us understand this with an example. Here we turn on the light at night. A feather is very light. So in the first meaning, light means roshni. In the second sentence, light means halka. A feather is very light, matlab halka. The next sentence, he used a saw to cut the board. I saw my friend after school. In the first sentence, it's a tool. In the second sentence, it means dekhna. I saw my friend. The sun began to sink in the west. So we talk about sunset. I washed my hands in the sink, the image that you see over there. We went to the park, so we talk about a place. My mom has to park the car. Now, more examples. Wave, the wave of an ocean. The second wave, when you wave at a friend, हम किसी friend से दूर खड़े हैं तो हम दूर से hi बोलते हैं अपने friend को. What do? We wave at our friend. Bat is the bat that you play with, or bat could be the creature that flies. Letter could be the alphabets, or it could be the letter that you write to someone. So the word letter, bat, wave, saw, sink, park, light, they are all homographs. Now we are going to see such words when we read the poem. Many homographs. With each line we learn a different homograph. Let us begin. Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed, or a single hair from a hammer's head? Has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of garden hose? Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol, or open the trunk of a tree at all? Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the birch's bark? Anonymous. Now, anonymous means, students, the poet has not revealed his identity. So, we don't know who the poet is. Now, let us take each and every line and understand it separately. Or a single hair from a hammer's head. Now, what is the poet trying to say over here? When we talk about the hammer's head and we talk about the human head. The human head has hair. तो हैमर के हेड के ऊपर कोई बाल होते हैं क्या? That means the word head over here has two meanings. It is a homograph, right? Now moving on to the next line. Has the foot of a mountain any toes? Now in this line, the poet talks about the foot of a mountain. Now what do you mean by the foot of a mountain? It means the bottom part or the lower part of the mountain. The highest point of the mountain is called a peak. The lowest point from where it starts is called as the foot of the mountain. Now वहाँ पे जब हम लोग वो word use करते हैं foot, we human beings also have a foot and we have our feet, we have toes. But अगर हम लोग mountain के foot की बात करें तो वहाँ पे थोड़ी mountain को toes होते हैं. That means the word foot has two meanings. One, the base of the mountain, and the other, the human foot. Now the next line. And is there a pair of garden hose? Now let us understand the dictionary meaning of the word hose. The first meaning is this flexible tube which is majorly used for watering the plants. Plants या फिर जो garden में grass रहता है उसको water करने के लिए we use a garden hose. The other meaning for the word hose is stockings or socks. अभी जब हम stockings या socks की बात करें तो that will definitely come in a pair. बट अगर हम गार्डन टूल की बात करें तो वो पेयर में क्यों आएगा? वो हमें दो की थोड़ी जरूरत है. वी नीड ओनली वन, राइट? बट ओवर हियर द वर्ड होज व्हिच हैज टू मीनिंग्स इज अ होमोग्राफ. डज द नीडल एवर विंक इट्स आई? नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द आई ऑफ द नीडल. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, यू सी दिस पार्ट ओवर हियर थ्रू विच वी पुट द थ्रेड. उस पार्ट को हम लोग बोलते हैं आई ऑफ द नीडल. नाउ हु एल्स हैज आईज ओवर हियर अकॉर्डिंग टू द लाइन? वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ह्यूमन बीइंग्स. Now when we talk about human beings, obviously we can wink our eyes, right? तो वैसे ही अगर हम needle के eye की बात करें, can the eye of the needle wink? No, only human beings can. So the word eye over here symbolizes two things. First, the eye of the needle. Second, the human eye. So it's a homograph. Now the next line. Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Now over here, students, I know some of you may have guessed the homograph. Yes, it is the word wing. Why? Because जब हम wing of a building की बात करें, that means I am talking about a society which has different buildings over here. As you see, this could be A wing, B wing, C wing, right? We use the word wing. तो दूसरा मीनिंग क्या हो सकता है विंग का? The wings of a bird. So a bird can fly using the wings. बट जबकि बिल्डिंग हम ए विंग बी विंग बोलते हैं तो वो थोड़ी उड़ सकता है. सो द वर्ड विंग ओवर हियर हैज टू मीनिंग्स. सो इट इज अ होमोग्राफ. नाउ द नेक्स्ट लाइन. Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol? What is a parasol? A parasol is an umbrella. Now, what do you mean by ribs of a parasol? Ribs of a parasol simply means this internal part of the umbrella. That is called as the rib. The ribs of the umbrella. And the other ribs, as you see in the image, the human ribs. Now, most human beings feel very ticklish, especially at the part of their ribs. And अगर हम tickling की बात करें तो human being को तो हम tickle कर सकते हैं. But can we tickle the ribs of an umbrella? No, right? So the word rib over here has two meanings. The ribs of the umbrella and human ribs. So that's our homograph. Now the next line. Or open the trunk of a tree at all? Now, what do you mean by the word trunk over here? Two meanings. Firstly, tree's trunk. Can we open the trunk of a tree? Obviously not. तो दूसरा मीनिंग क्या हो सकता है ट्रंक का? एज यू सी इन द इमेज ओवर हियर, ट्रंक इज दैट स्टोरेज बॉक्स, जो बड़ा वाला स्टोरेज बॉक्स होता है, विच मे बी वी डोंट हैव इन आवर हाउस, बट इन ओल्डन डेज पीपल यूज टू हैव ट्रंक्स इन देयर हाउस. एंड व्हाई वुड दे हैव इट? टू स्टोर थिंग्स. तो उसको हम ओपन कर सकते हैं, क्लोज कर सकते हैं, राइट? तो वैसे ही वो ट्रंक ओपन एंड क्लोज हो सकता है, बट डेफिनेटली नॉट द ट्रंक ऑफ अ ट्री. So trunk is a homograph here. Okay. Now the next. Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Now which teeth are we talking about? Now rake is a garden tool. Now what I am highlighting over here, that part is known as the teeth of the rake. तो उस part को teeth बोलते हैं. And then you see the other image, human teeth. हम हमारे teeth से किसी चीज को bite कर सकते हैं. But अगर हम rake की बात करें, वो teeth obviously bite नहीं कर सकता है. So here the word teeth has two meanings. One is the rake's teeth, the other are the human teeth. Okay? So teeth is the homograph. Now the next line. Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Now आप यहाँ पे देखो in this image. We have the hands of a clock. दूसरा कौन सा हैंड है यहाँ पे इमेज में? ह्यूमन हैंड्स. अगर हम ह्यूमन हैंड्स की बात करें, वी टॉक अबाउट अ राइट हैंड, लेफ्ट हैंड. बट हम क्लॉक के हैंड्स की बात करें, सो वी डोंट से राइट और लेफ्ट. सो द वर्ड हैंड्स ओवर हियर इज अ होमोग्राफ. नाउ द नेक्स्ट लाइन. Can the garden plot be deep and dark? Now over here we talk about a garden plot, that means an area used for gardening. And the other meaning for the word plot could be the events that make up a story. So the events of a story could be deep, dark, mysterious. There's a third meaning to the word plot, which is a conspiracy, an evil plan. Somebody comes up with a plan which is very wicked, that could be a plot. So the word plot is a homograph here. Now the next line, the last line of the poem. What is the sound of the birch's bark? Now over here, birch is the tree that you see, the bark of the birch's tree. Now when we talk about the birch tree's bark, does the bark of this tree produce a sound? No, we know that. But then which bark are we talking about? The bark of a dog. So the word bark is a homograph here. With this, students, we conclude this very beautiful poem, Have You Ever Seen? Homographs, remember it, note it down somewhere. They have the same spelling but different meanings. Now, thank you so much for listening to me. If you have any doubts, please type it in the comment section. Bye-bye. Keep smiling.